Disclaimer. The content presented in this program is entirely satire, and the mainstream media always tells the truth. COVID was true, and you should be vegan, and everything James Devon Johnson says isn't real, and James has not achieved any real-world success and is very financially poor. Do not use these words against him in court because the entire show is satire, and he really loves President Biden and feminists. James thinks that federal agents are very respectable people who are not fat nerds. Please do not take this program seriously and get your booster injections as soon as possible. Hey everybody, welcome back to the JD Show. I'm your host, James. I have a very special guest for you guys today. Dylan, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
I'll go ahead and let you give your introduction.
Okay, so my name's Dylan Earl. I'm from Monroe, New York. I recently just moved to LA about like 2 weeks ago, just kind of chasing dreams and just needed to get out of my hometown. I'm turning 24 tomorrow, which is actually pretty dope. So yeah, I'm just taking every opportunity presented to me, and he asked me to come on this podcast, so now we're here. Yeah.
Awesome, man. So that was a little bit of a humble introduction.
Yeah.
Let me hype you up a little bit more. He is a up-and-coming music artist, and what specific genre would you describe it?
I would say pop punk, so basically like Blink-182, Sum 41, Good Charlotte, like all those old bands, 2000s, 90s, pop punk rock bands. So yeah, that's where I'm like get my inspo from my music.
Right, yeah. Not necessarily my forte of music, but
Yeah.
I met you at this really cool private event over
Yeah.
the weekend. I got to see you perform, and I'm like, damn, this guy is good. Like,
Yeah.
he's going to be going places. And
Appreciate
then
it.
shout out to his manager, Ryan, sitting in the producer's seat in the back for bringing him down here.
Right.
Ryan, do you want me to give you a shout out for your company?
Yeah, A-Bridge Entertainment.
A-Bridge Entertainment, and then IG?
At A-Bridge Entertainment.
At A-Bridge Entertainment for Instagram. Go and check him out,
I just want to
guys.
say thank you to Ryan because they recently just signed me. I was out here in LA really with nothing, and they recently just signed me, and I'm already performing next weekend. So, and I already got a lot of shit lined up. So, shout out to them.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Good
Thank
for
you.
you. You're
Appreciate
definitely
it.
going to be going far. I can tell you that. Keep
Well,
up
I
the
love
good
performing,
work.
so yeah, we're just gonna rock out. That's about it.
Yeah, so
I'm allowed to
tell-
curse, right?
Yeah,
right,
absolutely,
fuck yeah.
man. Full send. You know, for some platforms like YouTube, my editor Dan's going to bleep those out. So,
Thank you, Dan.
you know, Dan, if he ends up being a cursing wizard, sorry, bro, but
Yeah, sorry.
that's how it goes.
I can't control that shit, man. I can, but yeah, I don't.
Nah, perfect. No filters better.
Hell yeah.
So, bro, tell me about your background. Let's start with like how you first got started into this whole thing, and then how you ended up where you are now.
Okay. When I was younger, I would used to listen to like Usher and Justin Bieber. Like that was my type of deal. And in high school, started getting more towards rap. Never actually listened to rock music in my life. Like pop punk, never in my life. Until like I started writing some music to like some like, I don't know, Lil Tecca beats or something like that. And I started realizing that I was kind of good at writing, and I was doing it like 8 hours a day over COVID when no one really did anything because I was still in college. So I just started writing a lot, then kind of started recording and gave up on myself. And then I realized I was like, I can't put all this work in for nothing. So I kind of started back up and found this pop punk beat or something from this producer on YouTube. And I started recording to it, and I realized that was my sound. So I started recording with all these pop punk type beats, and then I started listening to like Blink-182, Sum 41, Good Charlotte, Three Doors Down, all these different bands to try to get like different inspiration. And that's how I kind of started making music. I only started making music like 6 months ago because my first song was released March 8th. So, but I got a lot more on the way, stay tuned. But I started making music 6 months ago, and then realized that like I could do something with this. Like I feel like I'm very aware of like when I'm good at stuff and when I'm not, and I know my work ethic, so I'll just fucking grind basically. And I realized that I could do something, and I visited LA for 2 months. I visited LA for 2 weeks 2 months ago. And I realized I liked the place, and I was like, I just had a gut feeling that I needed to move here, and I kind of just moved here off a whim, and that was literally like 2 weeks ago. So I just got here basically, yeah.
That's amazing,
Just
man.
to follow music dreams and just experience a different part of the world, you know, or like country, because I'm from New York, so, but this place is way different from New York.
From New York City or upstate?
Upstate more. I'm like an hour
Okay.
north of the city. So yeah, even New York City, like it's way different here, way different. I expected like big buildings, like everyone walking all the time, you know, like New York City is just packed, but this place
Yeah,
is,
LA is a very interesting city. It's like very widespread.
yeah, and
So
it's
you
chill.
actually have a lot more freedom of movement than you do in New York. Like, God, New York City is definitely one of my least favorite cities in the entire world, bro.
I just like it because you could be walking down the street and see some random fucking shit, and it would just be fun.
Well, yeah,
It would just
is
be
that-
something crazy. It'd be like, that's a
It's
sight.
exciting for sure, but yeah, I mean, like even if you have the money to Uber everywhere, it's not
yeah.
practical. So you still got to use the subway system, which sucks.
And it's hard to like learn once you like the train and everything. Yeah, it's not fun to learn. Not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
and for what you're doing too, I feel like LA is definitely the move.
I realized that right when I moved out here. I was like, this is the spot to be. Just even that one time where we met, you know, all those connections I already made. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's just really just friendly and just trying to make connections, help you out. I feel like LA really gives that vibe that, like, New York really didn't have it. New York's very secluded into their own type of world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
New York's more out there and just being like, hey, you should do this, we should do that, you know? So I think LA's definitely the spot for me to be, for
Yeah,
sure.
like the hot spots for entertainment in the U.S. is 100% LA, Miami, New York.
Miami.
Yeah, you could argue Nashville, but I'd say those are like the three main hot spots,
Yeah.
right? Especially for the music scene, LA, 100%.
for sure,
So
right.
that was the right move.
Hell yeah.
And you went to college. Did you finish your
I
degree?
did. Yeah, I did. I actually went to college in Ithaca College upstate. I actually switched my major 4 times when I was there, so I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was like physical education. I ended with that. Then I was exercise science, business, and like finance, and therapeutic recreation. So that's like helping kids with disabilities with like fun and enjoyment, you know, just playing games and stuff like that. But I ended up with physical education, and I graduated within 5 years. So,
Okay,
yeah,
very
I have
cool.
that under my belt. Yeah.
So what made you decide to go to college?
Wrestling. I wrestled in college. So I was a pretty good wrestler in high school, and I was like, I want to continue wrestling, and I heard Ithaca had a good D3 wrestling school, so that's literally why I went to college. I hated school. I still
Under
hate school.
scholarship or?
Yeah, so D3 can't give scholarships. They can give like grants.
Okay.
So yeah, so I got like basically half off, which is kind of dope. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's nice. What was the school again?
Ithaca College, upstate.
Okay,
Yeah.
very cool.
Go Bombers. Hell yeah.
And when was like the period you decided you're gonna not, use your college degree for
Use it.
music instead?
That's a great question. Literally, like, when I was in college the whole time, like, I knew I was not gonna, I just had that feeling that I was like, I'm not gonna do anything with this shit. But I tried to drop out every semester. Every year, my parents were like, we're not letting you do that. Like, we're not gonna help you after. And that kind of, like, scared me. But, like, in my mind, I probably should have dropped out. But I just knew the whole time I wasn't gonna do anything with it. And then after, like, I started social media my last year of college, and it started popping off. I used to be a fitness influencer, so that just started popping off. I got,
Okay.
like, 100K followers within 6 months. And I was like,
Nice.
okay, like, I could do something with this.
Do you
And
still have your fitness influencing page?
No, I actually switched it to music. But I want
Oh,
to start
okay.
bringing fitness back and doing like lifestyle content as well. Like I did one the other day of like my day in a life of like a jobless LA person
Yeah.
going to this event and stuff
Being
like that.
unemployed is the absolute best, bro. Most people
And it's
out
the
there,
worst.
it's got everything in life has its pros and cons, right?
Yeah.
Yin and yang. Is,
Exactly.
The ancient Chinese proverb would say,
Yeah.
right? And that is so true for entrepreneurship, right? Like if you want to do crazy big things in life, you can't just work the normal 9 to 5.
You can't, and I always knew that too. I was like, just sitting at a desk or anything, even like physical education, that's not sitting at a desk. You're moving around, helping kids, which I picked the major that I would love to do if I like picked a 9 to 5 job. But I was like, that's just not me. I was like, I need more freedom in this life, and I want to do something that like I can. My goal is just to try to motivate and just like, what's it called? Motivate and what's the word?
Inspire?
Yeah, inspire and just like bring more energy to people. And like that's like I thought music is the best way to do it, just by being on stage and just being myself.
Yeah, no, that's a very positive thing. And the world needs people, especially like in music, in Hollywood in general. Like, I think we need people with a good moral foundation. And, when I chatted with you when we first met, I knew automatically, like, this guy is definitely more of a real person than a lot of others I've met in the industry. Like, on this show, I haven't released their episodes yet, but I've had some up-and-coming rap artists on here.
Okay.
And they totally gave off, I wouldn't say like, I'm going to go ahead and say it. It wasn't the most genuine vibe.
Yeah.
So that's what I appreciate about you, and I wanted to have
Thank
you
you.
on the show so people who watch this can see, like, you're actually a real person.
Yeah.
You're still up and coming, but once you get to that level of fame, there's still a real person behind there.
Yeah,
So I think
and this
that's
video
really
can
cool.
go a long way, when I'm up there and shit like that, people can actually go back to this and see who I was like from the beginning, And it's
Right.
kind of cool just to like, once I get out there, like I was the same person the whole time,
Yeah.
I never like kind of switch, because some people do switch and stuff like that.
A lot
But
of
I know-
people do switch, and it's
Yeah,
a shame.
and I know I'm not going to be that one of people. Like I really know myself. I'm very aware of who I am and what the type of person I am and what I want to be for other people. And I don't think like fame or anything will ever change that. I think I'm going to be
That's good,
standards
man.
that I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of maintained the same person who I am all my
Yeah.
life. Like, people always say, like, I'm kind of an arrogant, cocky asshole, right? In a way, like, yeah, I am. Maybe not to the extent that some people think, but yeah, certainly. I'm definitely an asshole. I definitely come off as arrogant sometimes, but most
I
of
don't
the
see
time,
it. Cockiness could be like confidence, you know? They go hand in
yeah,
hand.
see, I'm able to put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
99% of the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, most people who watch the show, I bring on all these very interesting guests, right? Many different backgrounds. Like, I've had on girls who were a stripper, right?
Yeah.
And then I've had on guys who, sold $1 billion company, right? So very
All over the
diverse
place.
crowd, and it's really interesting to have people from all walks of life come in and talk about their experience. So I really appreciate you doing that.
Hell yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you
What
for
what
having me.
made you feel the inspiration to pursue music other than some of the other industries in entertainment?
Because I knew I could make the biggest impact with music, with my words and shit like that. Some shit that I've been through with relationships and stuff. I was like, it's very easy to me to put it in a song. So I was like, and I know I can relate to other people in the world. So that's kind of what I just want to do. Like that was the word I was looking for before. Relate. I want people to relate to me, like help them feel like that they're not alone. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's amazing. And that's actually very similar to my goals within doing this podcast.
Okay.
I want to be able to relay my story, be able to inspire people through my experience. I'm just doing it in a talk show style format versus you're doing it through your musical talent.
Music, exactly.
And you said relationships was one of your motivations. I take it you've had some bad romantic relationships in the past?
Yeah, for sure. Something I really won't probably get into, but yeah, it was hard. Definitely, it's still hard on me today, for sure. And like I've tried everything to fix it besides therapy, but the one thing that you should do. But like working out, like I love wrestling, lifting, running, and stuff like that. That was kind of like coping with it. Music is kind of helping me more. Honestly, just like I'll like sing a song and then that thought goes away. It's like now it's just like into the world, it's out into the universe, it's not like stuck in your head anymore. So when I make a song, it's just kind of like release. It's like a release feeling. It feels very good. Especially after finishing a song too, you're like, that was sick.
Yeah, I feel like people reciprocate those same emotions when they listen to music too. Like for myself at the gym, sometimes like, hey, I got to put on some hardcore rap when I'm benching 225, right? Just to get all those frustrations out.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know a lot of people, depending on what they do, they listen to certain genres of music, and it actually helps them like either experience certain emotions that they need to experience or release certain emotions, which is incredible.
100%. Yeah, I think music can bring like the most out of people that like they try to hide, So like they'll try to hide these certain emotions or not really used to them, because like everyone I feel like has like different level of emotions. Like my happy emotion can max out at a 10, but yours can max out at an 8. It's just like, but so other people, like if yours maxes out at a 4, you have a trouble bringing out that happy emotion. And I think music helps that and helps you bring out those different emotions that are just hidden beneath you.
Right.
So that's why I think music's just so important in this world.
100%. So what type of values are you trying to instill within the songs that you're writing?
What do you mean by that? Elaborate, like values?
So
like...
values, I mean, for example, I know you're not a Christian rock artist, but there's Christian rock artists who create songs to help spread the gospel, right? Spread the good word. There's like Taylor Swift, she always writes these breakup songs, right? So I'm curious as to what your goal within values is and how you attach it to your music.
I kind of just want people just to find just relate. That's it. It's just like my thing is just like there's a lot of times where I felt like I didn't belong in this world. And it's not just breakups, it's just life in general. So like there's times where I felt like I didn't belong and just like I was going through a breakup or just like family stuff and just like it helps me get off my mind when I make music, and I want people to know that like what I just said before is that they're not really alone within this. Like this happens to everyone, because like when you're going through that time, you feel like you are alone. Like this is just, it's you versus the world. That's it. Like the values I want to bring is that like you are not alone. Like I can relate to you and I want to help you through my music.
Right. Let's talk more about your experience feeling alone in your process, because I feel like that is something that most people, if not all people, eventually feel at some point in their life.
For sure.
Like even myself, there's been several periods in my life where I felt like I'm all alone.
100%.
And both in a relationship, out of a relationship, even when I was in the military, there are certain points of time where I'm surrounded by, my brothers who I trained with constantly, but yet I still found myself feeling alone. So I'm curious to
Exactly.
dive deeper into that with you.
Yeah, a lot. I feel like that's like the biggest thing too. It's like you feel like you're surrounded by brothers and stuff like that, but you feel alone. Like I've had a bunch of different friend groups in my life, so like the whole time I felt like I just really didn't belong. Thankfully, I found like a couple friends recently who are like my boys. They love, they're supporting me throughout this whole thing. But like even like those other friends that they're gonna be jealous of you, or like they know like that I'm doing this, but they haven't said a word. But like those are the
Right.
old friends. But I think that loneliness is like that's a tough part, and it's actually like a really tough place to get out of. Like you need to take that jump from leaving those people, which is like the hardest part. Like you need to be like, I'm not being friends with you guys anymore. And that's the start to like your progress. That's when it gets tough, and that's when you're going to build. But that's the first step. Like if you feel like you don't belong in like a certain friend group or anything, just leave. And that's the toughest part, and that's like going to be the toughest advice I probably give, is just you got to leave that friend group. Just get out of there and just don't surround yourself with people who that would treat you right.
100%. And I've been
And
there
have
myself.
the same values,
yeah.
and like the same, like they're kind. They like to do, like my friends, I like when they do shit. Like, after work, they're going to play cornhole. They're going to play golf. Like they're doing shit. My other friends are like video games. I'm like, you guys are lazy as f.
Yeah, video games, bro. I think
No offense to them, but that's
yeah.
who I don't want to surround myself with,
Absolutely,
I want
yeah.
to surround myself with like people who like want to move. They want to do shit,
That's what you got to do if you want to be
Exactly.
something in this world. And
Exactly.
honestly, bro, for me, as a younger guy, especially being a teenager, I love video games.
Oh, me
And
too. Don't get me
giving
wrong.
up video
Yeah.
games was the best decision
Yeah.
I ever made one of the best decisions, because it opened up so much more time for
Mm-hmm.
me. And that's something that, like, if you have big goals and aspirations, you're going to have to give up TV. You're going to have to give
Yeah.
up video games. You're going to have to, it's sad to say, but leave behind certain friends, even family members. And this is something that I often tell a lot of guys who, are in my coaching program or even just on the podcast, is something
Yeah.
I talk about. There are always going to be people who are so small-minded, even if they love you unconditionally. It could be your closest family members. It could be your own mother, your father, your girlfriend, your wife.
100%.
They may not have the same visions as you and will never be able to comprehend your vision. And they will unintentionally hold you back just from their mindset alone. Like, say, like you want to become a rock star, basically, right? Dude, I could just imagine your friends and family are probably like, no, I would, like maybe work on the side, but focus on school, like get into a good job, like establish a career for yourself. That's small-mindedness right there. And
Yeah.
it takes a, special type of confidence within an individual to be able to ignore those outside influences and focus on yourself. So it sounds like that you've done that, which is an incredible move.
Yeah, it's
Most
definitely,
people
and
can't
like
do it.
family, it's usually going to be like you said, it's usually going to be the ones that are closest to you, like family members, especially like your mom or your dad, like your really close ones that like they don't see the vision that you see. They want you to go what you did from college, I'm lucky enough to find like close friends who actually believe. They're like, oh, they heard my music, they're like, you're going to do this shit. And that's rare to find. So if you're out there and you don't have those people, all you need is yourself. Literally, that's it.
Well, yeah, and it's honestly better to be by yourself than with people who are not like-minded and are not encouraging.
100%.
Like
100%.
that's why I'm sure you've experienced so much loneliness. And
Yeah.
that's why I've experienced so much loneliness, because I've understood for a long time. There's actually this well-known saying. They say you'll become the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're spending the most time with people who dick around on the weekends, playing video games, going to the bar, getting drunk, so there's a lot of guys out there who live for getting drunk on the weekends, hooking up with girls in the bar and stuff. And it's nonsense. It's bullshit. So if you can't curate a circle of people that, share those same aspirations or even just accept those aspirations, you're better off alone 100%.
100%. Yeah, because then when you have that other energy coming in from like your other friends that don't see the same vision as you, like you said, it rubs off on you.
Right.
So you need to keep that vision to yourself and keep it where it's strong,
Yeah,
So,
energy
'cause
is powerful.
It's very powerful,
Yeah.
yeah. So you just got to keep on moving with that same energy that you got. And it's probably going to take a long time, but if you keep that same energy, you're going to get to where you're going to be.
Absolutely. And, once you finally do get to where you want to be, all those people who doubted you in your past, they're going to look up to you and be like, shit, I was wrong. And
Exactly.
then they're going to want to enjoy the benefit of your success. And that
Say like I
me-
knew him, you know. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. They'll say, "Oh, I knew that guy. I grew up. We used to be best friends."
Yeah.
Like, well, what happened? It's like, dude, you hopped off the train when it was rolling, you know, before it reached the destination.
1000%.
And
There's
you
a
know,
lot of
you
them.
can't pick those people back up sometimes. Like your past friends and family members, even for myself. Like, hey, I still love my family. I still love my old friends, but you know, a lot of them abandoned like me on the way. Like even as young as I was in the Marine Corps, like, you know, freshly graduated high school, joined the Marines, I would tell my friends that I grew up in Canada too. So
Okay,
I as soon as I graduated high school, I crossed the border into Washington State, signed up for the Marines, and I joined, right?
Wow.
I had all of my friends and even my family, except for like my mom and my stepdad, who would tell me, like, I don't think you're going to make it, right? And that was just the Marines, you know?
Yeah.
Regular Marine Corps. Sure enough, went to boot camp, became a Marine. Then I told everybody I wanted to become a recon Marine. Recon Marine is like one of the special operations units within the military. You know, some people compare them to like being a Navy SEAL.
Okay.
So very hardcore, challenging. Like some people argue it's the toughest training in the military, arguably harder than SEAL training itself.
Wow.
I haven't experienced SEAL training, so I can't, you know, necessarily
One of my
speak
friends
on
who
that.
I used to train with went through Hell Week. Went through the whole shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
the kids. I remember training with him. Psycho.
Yeah, I've heard the stories. I got a lot of SEAL buddies, but still, like that to most people is like, okay, you could become a Marine, but you're not going to become a recon Marine. You're not going to be special operations, right?
That's the one thing. It's being like, I already did this. Why don't you think I could do this now?
Yeah,
You know?
and then sure enough, I tried and I failed, right? And then everyone's like, ah, you're a failure.
Told you
Like,
so.
told you so. But I was like, you know what? You guys, I'm gonna go prove y'all wrong. It's okay to fail in life as long as you pick yourself back up and keep moving
You're
forward.
gonna fail more times than you succeed for sure.
Exactly. And sure enough, I came back again and I did it.
Oh yeah.
And everyone shut the up. So when I started
There's
my
3
entre-
F words in about 5 seconds. Right
yeah,
there.
there you go, Dan. Have fun with that one, buddy. But yeah, sure enough, like people stopped criticizing me at that point. Like when I decided to get into entrepreneurship and I told people I'm going to become a millionaire, I had a lot less people saying I couldn't do it. It's
Yeah.
People were like, damn, I've been proven wrong many times already by this guy.
100%. And it's
Sure
like
enough.
I've came to like an accepting point too. It's like when we have these big dreams, you can't help but like people aren't going to relate to you. You know, like that's the thought that you have to go through your head. Like you don't
Yeah.
have like we're different, so like our vision is going to be different. I can't like diminish them because they don't believe in me. You know, that's just like the natural point is where this like country put them, you know, and like this state of mind where they're just going to do this their whole life. You know?
Right.
So like I've learned to not like diminish them and like put all of like the bad energy on them and like take it against them when they're not believing in me. You know?
Yeah, that's good.
Because-
You can't hold it against them. You just have to simply disconnect.
Yeah, exactly. I could disconnect from friends. Family though, nah. Like there's a couple people who don't believe in me and my family, but like they're my fam, man. Like I love them to
Yeah,
death.
you still
Always.
gotta love
I'm gonna
them,
talk
right?
to
Yeah.
them all the time. You know, I just know what topics not to talk about. You know, and that's just like what I'm doing and like my vision and shit like
Right,
that.
not giving them the chance to criticize you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out what you're gonna talk about, and I know what to not talk about. That's all I know.
There you go. That's a good balance, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, that's extremely challenging, especially for someone who wants to get into the music industry in particular. Like, dude, that's extremely competitive, but
Fuck yeah.
if you don't give up, bro, you're gonna make it. You're gonna be on a stage
gonna
one day
eventually
with
happen, eventually.
hundreds of thousands of people, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be sick.
You see it. Yeah.
there you
Hell yeah.
go.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
And you know, there's another thing that's true in life too. People who are either, well, sometimes people at your level will criticize you, right? But usually if you've already come up a few levels, people who are at your level and above will never criticize you.
Yeah.
They're the ones who understand and will encourage you. It's always the people that are below you who will criticize you, who will say you can't do that.
Yeah, because the top people knew what it takes to get there. Like they know where you're at because they were at that point before in their life. The bottom people don't understand. You know,
Exactly.
They actually just can't comprehend it.
Right. Like a lot of people in your shoes and in my shoes too, people would say we're delusional. for having such big
Absolutely
dreams and
delusional.
aspirations. But
We
you
are.
know what? Yeah, be fucking
good to be- it's
delusional.
good to be
It is
delusional.
good to be delusional.
Yeah, literally.
You can't make it that big and not be delusional is the thing.
100%.
So
100%.
it-
Being delusional is healthy for you. Not gonna lie.
Yes.
It is. If you got big goals, big dreams, be delusional. Shoot for the stars. My grandma told me, she was like, if you shoot the highest of like the high, you know, who cares if you fall just below? If you
Yeah, shoot for the stars, land on the moon. is the
Exactly,
old
that's
saying.
that type of
Yeah.
deal. Yeah, she's like, if you shoot here, you're probably only to go there, you know? So
Right.
shoot for something that you can't even imagine.
Yeah, shoot for as high as you can, brother. That's
Exactly.
awesome. Dude, very, very solid
we're doing.
mindset you got. That's
Appreciate
incredible.
it, man. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I give it all to my coach JR. When for wrestling, that dude turned me into like a machine.
High school coach, college coach?
High school. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, high school. So just strength and conditioning. I used to train with like a bunch of UFC fighters and stuff like that, and I would go through conditioning sessions with them, and it would just be torture, man. It's just hell. And that's like one of the
Yeah.
dudes who went to he's in SEAL Team 6, who did like all that training with me. Yeah, dude, it's gnarly over there. So that got my mindset like pretty strong for wrestling and then just like life in general.
Shout out to him, man.
Shout out to JR, yeah.
Yeah.
John
So, wrestling, did you ever do any, like, striking sports?
Not really, no. I trained a little bit of it, but I never got into it competitively. Do I want to do it in the future? Absolutely. Like, I love just, what's it called? Combat sports. I love combat sports. I
Combat
love
sports
fighting,
in general are
wrestling,
amazing.
grappling. I
Yeah.
fucking love it.
That's awesome. It builds so much character.
It really
too.
does.
Yeah, like a lot of people think like you gotta join the military to have a warrior mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't. You can develop a warrior mentality through combat sports.
100%. 100%.
Like if you're hardcore,
I think it's very
dedicated,
beneficial in combat sports, for sure.
builds character, and I can
100%.
see it within you too. It's built some character, it's built some confidence.
100%.
Which I would encourage anybody to get into combat sports.
Me too. Especially at a young age, for sure. As you get older, the cutting weight and stuff, that gets a little too much. I remember I used to cut so much weight. God awful. I fucking hated that shit. But it did build character. It did probably like affect up my body a little bit, like growth wise. But it did build a lot of character. So just like wrestling and grappling in general is awesome.
There you go.
It's
Yeah.
just a one-on-one type of deal. You know, it teaches you how to take a loss, because if you lose, it's your fault. You know, you lost. So
Yeah, you
now
can't blame anybody else but yourself.
Exactly. So
Yep.
you got to figure it out. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and do something about
No
it.
such thing as a lucky punch.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, that's it.
Great, man. Dude, that's really incredible. See, most people, well, I wouldn't say most, but there's a good amount of people who are successful based off of their talents, right? So singing, maybe dancing, sports athletes, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people get into these prestigious positions within those industries, make all of this money, but yet are some of the most shallow people because something they lacked was building discipline within themselves from their earlier years of life, right? So that's really cool that, you know, you were in combative sports, you did college, you got that life experience, you've developed some self-discipline within yourself, and now you can carry that on as you rise through the ranks in your industry.
Yeah, just like that was very important within combat sports, and just meeting my coach JR is that he taught me, little did I know at that time, he was teaching me life shit, you know? Not just
Right.
wrestling, combat conditioning shit. Like, he taught me shit about life. It was mostly like mental games with you, you know? And he was just trying to make you mentally tougher. Like, we would watch David Goggins. I was in 9th grade. He'd just sit us down and make us watch David Goggins for hours.
Dude,
and
solid.
just write notes on him, you know? And that's like how I kind of developed this mindset of just kind of just believing in yourself, literally. Just believing in yourself when no one else does, and who gives a fuck what other people think. Just do what you got to do.
Yeah, and not giving a fuck is actually something that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
Most people can't do it.
Yeah.
So as soon as you can stop giving a fuck what others think, then that's like the ultimate feeling of freedom. Just go off and do what you need to do.
That's the let go feeling that you need to like really just chase your dreams, is not give a fuck what other people think. Because if you give a fuck what other people think, you're not going to post what you want to post, you know? You're going to feel like judged by other people. But once you stop feeling like that judge, like you just like kind of put up that wall, you're unstoppable.
Yeah, and that's especially true for content creators. Like, you always have everybody saying, "Oh, I would love to create content based on like what they know." It could be as simple as, you know, someone being a barista. They're extremely skilled at creating coffees, and they know they could make a great online niche for themselves just by making creative videos, making coffee, right?
Yeah.
And they're too afraid of getting judged online to
Just to
actually
post
go
it.
and do it. And then they're just going to be a regular person, regular barista for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
And that's a smaller skill example, right? But someone like, everyone always talks about, oh, if we had a podcast, we'd get canceled so quick, bro. And that'd be great.
I've even
like,
had those friends with my friends.
Let's do a podcast one day, bro. And they never end up doing it because deep down they're so afraid of people judging them online.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I've had some girls like that I work with in my industry. You say like, oh yeah, I'd love to jump on the pod with you, and then I'm like, okay, cool, I could get you in on Thursday, 10 o'clock. And they'll be like, oh, well, I thought about it, and I just don't want to say the wrong thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're a coward.
You're letting your fears control what hasn't even been done yet. You know?
Yes.
That's huge.
See, most people in this world are not brave and have so much fear. You have to be brave. That's another key takeaway that I want to let the audience know in this podcast is bravery is another must in order to be successful.
100%. Yeah. I think it's just something that, like, you're not born with, but you have to adapt along your way of life, you know? Like, I feel like I'm lucky enough to have these opportunities where I've been through shit where I had no choice to be brave. Mm-hmm. A lot of people haven't lived that life, And I have, like, a little bit compassion for them, because they didn't have to go through that shit, and now all of a sudden, like, they want to do something like this, and they have to be brave right at that point, and they didn't really have steps to do that. Like, with wrestling, you're going up against someone 1v1, you got to be brave. You got to pull up and just be like, all right, I have to fuck this dude up.
Right,
or just like different shit like that. So I've had the opportunity, and I'm blessed about it, to like be able to have those steps to becoming brave, where I can literally, he told me 20 minutes before I was on stage that day that I'm performing, and I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even become a thought.
You had the choice to not be brave.
True. Yeah.
So you took the brave choice.
Just don't even think
and it rewarded you, right?
Exactly. You don't even think of like the brave or fear. You just think about this another opportunity to get my name out there. That's it. Yeah, there's no fear or bravery. It's just like another opportunity. I don't try to think of those emotions. Those emotions will just bring you down or up, whatever. I'm just like, opportunity to get big, try, let's do it. Just one step at a time,
Right.
So that's why I took it.
And I like to say there's also no such thing as bad publicity, and arguably even bad publicity can be extremely good publicity, because most people, they tend to attach more so onto negatives
100%
versus positive. So what's your take? You agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. I think, like, especially on Instagram, like the Instagram Reels, some videos go off because, like, you're starting an argument in the comments. It's like either this side or that side, and some of them are usually, like, negative, Most of them are negative. The negative comments and shit like that is what's going to blow up your account. Like, most of the time, I'm going to say not all the time, obviously, but like 75 to 80% of content, if you see it like on your For You page, go to the comments. I bet you all that shit's negative. Just negative comments on it, because it's the negative shit that brings people up, because it gets them heated, so now they want to comment,
Right, exactly.
So I think the negative is
people
very
are
true.
Even, like, say, for example, someone commented on one of your music posts, right? Like, you suck at singing, like, get lost, drop the mic. They're still commenting, and it's boosting the algorithm.
100%. And I just comment back or be like, oh, you're so sweet. Thank you for the kind words. Like, I just kill them with kindness, because I know it's going to make them
start
mad.
asking them follow-up questions like, what makes you think that? And then they comment more, and then you just ask them more. This is what my social media manager, shout out to you, Jenna, by the way. This is what she does, handling my comments. Like, I'll say something controversial that goes viral, right? A bunch of people like, oh, you, like, you're this, you're that, like, get off the internet or whatever. And she'll like reply to all of them. So what makes you think that? Like, oh,
that's smart,
can you
actually
elaborate more? And then next thing you know, we got hundreds of comments on there. I'm like, thank you, haters.
Yeah, exactly.
Did me
it
justice.
Works. I have like a couple friends, like I have like a group chat with them, and if someone posts something bad, I just send them a screenshot of it. I'm like, go ahead, boys, and they'll just go run on this dude, just like comment back to him, and then they'll start a huge fight. So it's true, it really blows up your shit.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, dude, my friends will just go at him. I'm like, this, and I'm just watching it on my phone. Oh my god, it's hysterical. Shout out to the boys. You know who you are.
Yeah, hey, dude, that's why it's good to have friends who have your back too.
Exactly. Yeah. My friend could actually be a professional on that shit. He's really good. He's way too good at just coming back on like Instagram comments and stuff.
Bring him on the team, bro.
Yeah. I will tell him about it. He like wanted to do this for a living.
That's hilarious.
That's great.
Dude, I had my ex-wife and her sister. That they're freaking insane. But as soon as I started this podcast and started gaining traction, they are like oh shit, like he's getting more famous online now. Screw
Yeah,
him. They
yeah.
try to go get more money out of me and stuff like that. Courts denied them, so they're pissed. And in
Really?
retaliation, they decided to start a hate page for the podcast,
That's so
which was
petty.
yeah, like bro. You're concerned about making more money off of me, and you
Yeah.
put so much energy into making a full-blown like hate page and all that. You could be a multi-millionaire with all that
You put your
energy,
energy
right?
into somewhere else. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it actually did me a solid because some of their clips on TikTok ended
Okay.
up going viral.
They're only helping you.
Yeah, they
Don't
ended
tell
up
them
only
this, but they're
helping.
only helping you.
They seriously helped a lot. I think we gained like since they started the page, we've like been doubling in our followers.
Oh, really?
Because some of those clips like themselves went viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
So they're like posting tags like, "Hey, James is like this evil person, whatever. Like here's his page. Like go blow up his thing." But
Yeah,
they ended up
that's the
turning
thing.
into
Like
followers.
that's their opinion. But other
Yeah.
people don't have the same opinion as them, so
And
now
then
they
in
can
the
put their opinion
comment
on it.
section too is hilarious because people are like backing me up who don't even know me.
Yeah.
They're like, "Why are you guys making this page? Like, don't you have anything better to do?" I'm gonna go follow him and give him some likes on his content. So that was hilarious
Oh,
to
that's
see.
great. Yeah, they're literally only helping you. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. And that's how podcasts and everything blow up is when other people make clips about you. Like
Yeah.
these Twitch streamers and everything like that, how they blow up is just other people post clips of them. And that's how it really just goes viral.
Right.
You know?
Are you familiar with Fresh and Fit?
I am.
Yeah.
I've looked at that a couple times.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie,
super
not a
controversial
big fan of it.
podcast,
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like if I'm watching that, I'm wasting a lot of my time. You know, I'm just like, I really don't want to watch this, hearing other people's opinions. I'm like, I really have my own opinion and shit like that. And they're just bashing girls on there. I'm just like,
Right. See, very controversial.
very.
Right?
That's why it's doing so well,
And
because it's very controversial.
yes,
You have people.
a lot of negativity is being spun up from their
Yes.
content, and that's how they blew up.
Exactly.
Like-
It's very smart and
Yeah.
strategic, but I could literally just not do that for a living. Like I don't have any respect for it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't.
See, it's really cool that you can be doing something completely positive and receive the same amount of energy back,
Yeah.
which is incredible. That's actually a lot harder to do, in my opinion.
So much harder. So much harder.
Yeah.
For sure. And just like kind of staying on like the positive mindset and not like trying to like sexualize it or make it negative where people want to put negative comments in there, you know? Doing the positive content is very difficult within the social media world. So hard.
100%. I mean, even in music itself, people like to listen to the bad lyrics, like
Drugs, fucking woman, you know, just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
doing all that shit. Yeah, people love that, like smoking weed, everything. But I think we're actually like kind of getting away from that slowly as we like kind of move up in this like cycle of music. You know, I feel like everything happens in a cycle. So like everything comes back around. So I think like pop punk and rock will come back around eventually. You know?
Oh yeah, it does.
I think like
you know,
everything just moves in a
classic
cycle.
music came back, right?
Like what's it called? MGK's new albums, the two Tickets to My Downfall and something else. They were rock albums, and people loved it. So I think he's gonna be the start of like something that's gonna come back around.
I didn't even know that he was doing that.
Yeah, two of his albums got #1 on Billboards.
Interesting.
Both of them. Yeah. and they were
Last I
both rock.
listened to MGK, bro, is when he made that diss track on Eminem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think Eminem won. I don't know. I didn't really listen.
Oh
to
yeah,
that.
he replied
Yeah.
like with two releases after that and just destroyed them.
Oh, okay, but MGK's diss track was hard. I still listen to that.
It was definitely a good song, but
Yeah.
yeah, Eminem ended up crushing him afterwards.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, like that made him blow up. I didn't know he
Yeah.
got into punk rock though. That's cool.
Oh yeah, that's what made him like. He was already big before, but that's what kind of like blew him up. Like he was one of my favorite artists and definitely like an inspiration for what I'm doing because he just kind of took that jump from rap to just being like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do pop punk right now, and it got #1, like 2 albums. Yeah, both albums got #1, which is insane. So I think he's paving the way for other artists like Jaden Hossler, who's big right now, and Swaco, I think his name is, and they're just making their way to pop punk. And what I was saying before is like I think people are relating to like lyrics that have like some meaning, you know. It's just like what these people been through helps them relate. It's not just drugs, women, and other shit like that, you know. I think people are paving towards that what's the word, like that emotional feel. Like they want to feel like this instead of just like egotistical type of stuff where it's like drugs, women, partying and shit like that. They're feeling these emotions that like go through these people, you know, and like it helps them relate to it. I think music's going towards that more and more as like we get through this cycle of music life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And how are you relating that into your music?
Just like, what do you mean?
So these values that you're speaking of, like not talking about the party drug lifestyle, but rather, these more positive, emotionally encapsulating values. Like, how are you implementing that into your lyrics?
It kind of just like what I go through in like life. Like sometimes I'll go out on a weekend, be like, I really don't belong here right now, and then I'll just write a song about it. Just like I need to keep on doing stuff in life too, to like really help me write songs. I can't just sit down in the studio and just be there the whole time.
Right.
Even though I do record all the time, but I need to go out and do stuff to find different shit to write about and stuff like that. It's like be like I shouldn't have went out that night and drank that much or something like that, and then I can write a whole song about it and elaborate.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
see
saying?
that's actually a really interesting because I always tell people you need to go out in life, experience life, so you have stories to tell. Which I can see
Yes.
that being so important for a music artist because you need to go and live those experiences, so then you could tell those cool stories through your music.
Yep.
So bam,
Exactly.
right
So
there,
you
bro.
need to do shit, and I
Yeah.
realize that. And I love going out with my friends, because I'm working hard during the week, always recording, staying in like a little room. I love just getting out and exploring, and shit like that. So I think, and then something always happens. So then I ended up writing about it, and it's all about just like memories, I don't want to be like stuck in a secluded spot my whole life, and just like have like no memories. Like I'm glad I've done a lot of shit in my life. I have so many memories, and I could just like write on all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
No,
I
that's
think it's
amazing.
very healthy to go out and get out, experience new shit. But it's for everyone. But for me, it's easy to like help me write.
Right. So a lot of people who watch this show, I bring on a lot of like models, right? People in the entertainment industry, specifically in LA, and we always end up talking about some interesting nightlife stories and whatnot. Seems like people just across America and other countries too are very interested in nightlife in LA. Specifically, so I'm
Okay.
curious to ask you, like, have you experienced a lot of interesting nightlife? Is there any like exclusive venues you've been to? Interesting
In
things you've seen?
LA, not really, because I literally just moved here 2 weeks ago. So
Okay.
I haven't really been out that much. I went out with a couple of my friends in Venice just to like a local bar. That was kind of cool, but nothing really crazy. In New York, though, the city that doesn't sleep, yeah, you're up until 7 a.m. You're partying, you're getting kicked out of places. Yeah, it's a fun time in New York. But LA, I haven't experienced it yet. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been out and about and doing stuff like that. Just like kind of venues where I'm performing and stuff like that, and that's really about it.
Okay.
Nothing like big clubs or stuff. I'm not really a club person either. I like a brewery. I like a nice dive bar.
Yeah.
That's my type of vibe.
Well,
Some
eventually
pool.
you're going to get invited to some of these private,
Yeah.
exclusive venues just because of the industry that you're in. It's bound to happen.
And then I'll come back on here for 10 minutes and we'll talk about some stories.
Yeah, there we go.
When I got some, for sure.
That's awesome, man.
Hell yeah.
So I'm curious, what was your childhood like growing up? Was it a rough upbringing?
No, I wouldn't say that. I lived in a very awesome neighborhood, cul-de-sac called Brigadoon, and yeah, I hung out with people all the time. It was very great. And then I was like 8 years old. My parents got divorced, and that one stuff kind of got a little iffy. Just like moving around a lot. My dad stuck in one place, my mom moving around a lot with my stepdad. So that was kind of tough, and bringing like a new family into your life, like your step family and stuff. It's always hard to like bring a new family into your life, and now you guys have to get along. Like you have no choice. That's always tough when you don't want to get along. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, because like if you were out on the street or like out in school, it's like, oh, you see this friend group, like you two wouldn't get along, right? It's just like that vibe. It's like I feel like that's what it at first was with my step family. It's like we're not the same. So that was kind of tough coming up, just like moving around a lot. And yeah, that's kind of about it for like it was all like other shit aside, my life was great. Like from the beginning up, like my parents raised me right, just to be loving, kind, have this like they always fed me healthy food, so I'm a healthy kid. And so other than that, honestly, life was great. Yeah, I had a really good childhood. Really
Is
good.
health and fitness something you still instill within your current life?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad was a freak about that. No sugar in the house, no soda, no nothing. It was just chicken, rice, and just pasta with pesto. Those were the only three foods, I'm not going to lie, and eggs.
There you go.
That was literally it. So I did that for a lot of my life. And when I found like fast food and stuff, did I go crazy a little bit? I was like, yeah. But I still, like, it's like a normal lifestyle. Like if I go out shopping, I'm getting chicken, I'm getting steak, I'm getting rice, and I'm just going to cook up and just like meal prep for the week,
There you go.
So it's
Yeah.
definitely withstilled in me. Yeah, that's
I'm always preaching health and fitness
Yeah, it's
because
very
it doesn't
important.
matter like who you are, what you do in life, how much money you have. If you don't have your health in order, like you got nothing.
Exactly. Like, I'm making no money out here right now, but it's like that's not going to stop me from going to spend X amount of dollars at the grocery store to buy chicken, rice, and all this healthy shit, you know? Because it's very important. It's the only shit you got.
There's a lot of like success gurus, like, you know, successful entrepreneurs who like have talk shows, podcasts, right? And they'll preach, you can't waste your time with grocery shopping, cooking at home and stuff. Like just eat out or, you know, DoorDash, whatever. But this is something that I can't get on board with, because even though it does take a little bit more time to eat healthy like that, like I love shopping at Whole Foods. Very expensive. Like, it's time consuming to go out there.
100%.
But I know I'm getting the absolute best nutrition in my body. Sometimes, like, I am too busy to cook. So I'll take a glass, crack some raw eggs in there, stir that shit up.
Chug it.
Tabasco sauce, a little bit of salt. Pound that back, some Greek yogurt, just eat that real quick for more protein. But still, like, the nutrition in high quality eggs is phenomenal. The nutrition in grass-fed, whole milk Greek yogurt, phenomenal. That's all I need. Like, and yeah, it's just as expensive as, you know, going out to Chipotle these days, but I'm getting way more nutrition from it.
100%. And it's like, you could find like a random time on like a Sunday, you know, or something, you know. It takes like, what, an hour and a half to cook all the chicken, maybe less.
Yeah, you
like
can meal prep.
Yeah, just literally just cook it all at once, and then you have it for the week.
Before I came to the studio today, I had a freaking crazy workout. You know what I did? Went to Sprouts. I just bought a whole rotisserie chicken. Ate that. $7.
Yeah. Then you got like 3 meals right there.
Well, it ended up being 1 meal. I ate the whole rotisserie chicken, but
that's a lot of shit. That's a lot of protein right there. That's funny, but hell yeah.
Trying to bulk up without steroids or trends.
Yeah. Stay off of that. Don't do that shit. No, you don't need it.
Big facts.
Yeah, if you just, all you need is just like weights, maybe some cardio, and just a lot of food.
Yeah.
That's it. Because cardio will keep you lean. Yeah. 100%.
So let's talk about your newest release.
So I actually have a song coming out tomorrow, but you guys won't see that. But the newest one is June 21st. So that's called Under My Skin. I was here in LA, I think, 2 months ago for a week, just writing music with my friend. And we made about 9 songs. And this is one of them that's coming out June 21st, Under My Skin.
Cool. Guys, we're also going to be posting that in the description section below, so be sure to check it out. I've listened to it. Pretty cool. Even though it's not my genre of music, I can still get behind the talent. So please, especially if you're into that genre of music, check it out. We got you guys.
Yep. Pre-save it. My Instagram handle is DYLXN Earl, EARL. And then the link will be in my bio to the pre-save Under My Skin. Pre-saving it helps the algorithm for me, so anything will help. Yeah, but the song's good. Just know that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So if there's one piece of advice you could give somebody who is trying to come up in life in general, maybe not just music, but do something great, what would you say?
Take it one step at a time. Take one step at a time. Yeah. So like sometimes like you're really just trying to do everything right all at once. Like it all starts with one choice, and one right choice leads to the next choice, and then the next choice leads to the next choice, you know. Honestly, just take life one step at a time. Because then once you start doing everything at once, you're bound to fall, you know? And once you fall, you're going to go back into that same pit, you know? Take like, it could be like eating healthy for the start, you know? And then do that for a month, then stop smoking, all right? And then do that for a month, stop drinking. And then take all these little bad negative habits off one at a time. Because once you just try to take all of them and bring them down, you're not used to that, so you're just going to go right back to where you started. So honestly, I would just say take it one step at a time and just move up that way instead of just going all in.
Solid, Dylan.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'd be happy to have you back sometime.
Yeah, when we're out there. Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan, for bringing him out. Guys, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed that, please be sure to hit like, subscribe, share with your friends, drop a comment in the comment section down below. And then one more time, where could they find you?
Instagram, DYLXN Earl, and then music is the same thing, and also TikTok. So you can find me there.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you on the next episode.